Hello everyone, welcome back. I am Lucky from CapacityBA.org and I'm the instructor for today's topic. In our previous session, we talked about introduction and installation of Python. In this session, we will be talking about variables and simple data types. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Let's take a closer look at what happens when we run a simple Hello World program. I'll go ahead and open my Python and then I'll write a simple Python program, the Hello World. So when we run this code, we should see the following attributes. I'll remove this here. Python does a fair amount of work when we run a simple program. When you run this program, the .py indicates that this is a Python file and your editor runs the program through your Python interpreter, which reads through the code and determine what each word in the program means. For example, when the interpreter sees the word print followed by the parenthesis, it prints to the screen whatever is inside this parenthesis, in this case the hello Python word. As you write your program, your editor highlights different parts of your program in different ways. For example, it recognizes that the print here is the name of a function and displays the word in one color. It recognizes that the hello Python word is not a Python code and displays that phrase in a different color. This is called syntax highlighting and it is very useful as you start to write your own programs. Okay, let's try using variable in our hello world.py. Here I'll create a new line, message. I'll just copy what is inside this parenthesis, then I'll paste it here. Then I'll modify the second line, message. When I print this program, I should get the same output as the previous program. What we have succeeded in doing here is we added a variable named message. Every variable is connected to a value, which is the information associated to that value. In this case, the value is the hello Python word test. Adding a variable adds a little more work for Python interpreter. When it processes the first line, it associates the variable message with the hello Python word test. When it reaches the second line, it prints the value associated with the message to the screen. Let's expand on this by modifying the hello world.py. When we give a second, we will give the second space for readability and add a new line of code. I will do that for readability message. Message equals to hello learners. Okay. Print message. When I run this code, we should see two outputs. You can change the value of a variable in your program at any time. Rules when naming and using variable. When you are using variable in Python, you need to adhere to a few rules and guidelines. Breaking them will cause an error. Number one of those rules is variable name can contain only letters, numbers, and underscore. They can start with a letter or an underscore, but not with a number. You can have a variable name like this, message underscore 1 or underscore message 1, but you can never have a variable name like one underscore message. Number 2 rule of naming a variable is space are not allowed. You cannot add a space in between your variable. Instead, you can use an underscore for readability purpose. Number 3, avoid using Python keyword and function as variable names. Example of the Python keyword is this: int print 4. As you can see, Python highlights this word. Whenever you use them, it highlights them to let you know that this is a Python keyword. You cannot use them as variable name. It's ideal you use an underscore and then you add any other thing to it if you must use it. Number 4, variable name should be short but descriptive. For example, name is better than n, and then student name, student underscore name is better than s underscore n. Number 5, be careful when using the lowercase l and the uppercase o because they could be confused with the numbers 1 and 0. Avoiding name error when using variables. Every programmer makes mistakes, but good programmers know how to respond to those errors efficiently. Let's look at an error you are likely to make and how to fix it. I'll just remove this, cut it out, and then this is an error you are likely to make when you begin. It said traceback, most recent call, file, user Lenovo desktop, hello.py, print message. The name error, you say name message is not defined. As you can see, message here has double S and then the message here has 1x. This is one of the errors you are likely to encounter, and it's advisable you read the error so you know how to respond to those errors. So once I put this S back here and then I run this code, I should get an output. A traceback is a record of where the Python interpreter ran into trouble when trying to execute your code. Like here now, it said traceback, most recent call, file. It says the name of the file and then it gives you the line where the error occurred, like 2 in module. Programming languages are strict but do not pay much attention to good or bad spellings. You do not need to consider English spelling and grammatical rules when trying to create a variable name and writing code. Variables are often described as bus where you can store value in. You can think of variables as labels that you can assign to a value. The next is string. A string is a series of characters, basically anything inside a quote. This right here is a string. Anything inside a quote is a string. You can put a number inside the quote, it's still considered as a string. You can use either single quotes or double quotes. Let me try using single quotes so we'll still get the same output. Run, we're still getting the same output. This flexibility allows us to use quote and apostrophe within a string. Example of that is message equal to I tell you Python is fun. Python is fun. Then print message. When we run this code, we are supposed to see Python is fun in quotes, just like this. Here is another example. Message equal to, I'll just copy here to save a little more of our time, and then I'll paste here. So when we run this code, we see that the Python here is in quote, single quote. One of Python's strengths is its diverse and supportive community. In our next session, we will be talking about ways you can use string. That will be all for today's session. If you have any question, drop that in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon to get notified whenever we drop a new video. See you all in the next session.